There's something about a Chrysler, something about a Chrysler, something about a Chrysler that is fine, fine, fine. A ride can be really thrilling, the motor is more than willing. You can be proud to say a Chrysler's mine, mine, mine. Your friends will all be staring and wishing they were sharing the joy that is yours while cruising down the line, line, line. It has beauty front to rear, let us shout so all can hear. There's something about a Chrysler that is fine, fine, fine.
This is the city, Hollywood, California. Film capital of the world. Television capital, too. Swarming with movie stars and motor cars. We were on our way home from NBC. We'd just done another TV show, It's a Great Life. My partner's Mike O'Shea. My name's Bill Bishop.
Man, I always feel great after a good show like that, don't you?
Yeah, but not that great.
Oh, come on, be happy. There's something about a Chrysler, there's something about a Chrysler, there's something about a Chrysler that is fine, fine, fine.
Save it, Buster, we're off the air.
No, I don't care, I like that song. Our ride can be really thrilling, the motor is more than willing, and you can be proud to say a Chrysler's mine, mine, mine.
No wonder they named you Mike, you're always broadcasting.
Well, that's better than being named after the thing you are that comes around the first of every month.
Oh, you mean a done?
No, I don't mean a done, I mean a bill and you know it, and leave Jimmy out of this. Something about a Chrysler, there's something about a Chrysler, there's something about a Chrysler that is fine, fine, fine. Ah, friends will all be staring and wishing they could be sharing. Hey, wait a minute, hold it, Bill. Isn't that Don Wilson?
Yeah, big as life.
And twice as mad. That's Rochester.
Let's see if we can help him out.
Rochester, how much longer do we have to sit here?
Only until our breath catches up with us.
Well, hurry it up. We're late now.
Okay. Howdy, fellas.
Oh, what do you say, Rochester?
Hello,
How are you,
fellas.
man?
All right.
What's the matter?
What does it look like's the matter? We're out of gas.
Don't look at me. I put a whole gallon in there 2 weeks ago. I only used a little of it this morning to clean some spots out of your clothes.
Oh, this is embarrassing. On our way to rehearsal, too. Oh, these are the sportsmen.
Oh, hello, fellas. I like it, I like it. What are you doing back there?
We were in the back seat
Till we had to get out and push.
You want to know something they're crazier than we are?
Why don't you try taking a taxi?
Not when I can drive my own car.
Yeah, if you can drive it. Pardon me, fellas.
just around the corner. There's a station at last, and if you'll wait a minute, we'll be right back with gas.
Well, he came prepared.
First time I ever saw anybody rush the growler for gas.
Well, I better run along, too, and check on him.
Okay, Don, see you later.
The whole trouble's with this old puddle jumper, even with gas in it.
I didn't know Don Wilson had a Maxwell, too.
Oh, yeah, he got it once in salary.
For announcing, you mean?
Yeah, you remember that old radio program he had so long? The Maxwell House?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, he got it a long time ago.
Maxwell House, Maxwell Automobile. It figures.
Yeah, figures. Keeps it shined up nice, don't he?
Who keeps it shined up nice?
Okay,
It
right.
seems to me the thing to do would be for him to trade this in on a new car.
And him pay the difference.
Sure.
Oh, calm now.
Why not? You drive for him.
You're in a position to demand it.
Oh, I can demand it all right, but I'd no longer be in a position.
Seriously, Rochester, don't underrate yourself. Wilson needs you more than you need him.
He does.
Sure.
Beautiful dream awakened to me.
No, I mean it. I mean it. Everybody in Hollywood knows about all the things you do for him. In your spare time, you're his valet, butler, cook, chauffeur,
Trainer, yardman, housekeeper, janitor.
secretary, ambassador, major domo, and charge d'affaires.
I am?
Yeah.
What about Barbara, laundryman, and when he can't sleep at nights, I read him bedtime stories?
You see?
He's right, Rochester.
Yeah. How about that? You're right. When he comes back, I'm going to up to Mr. Wilson, and I'm going to say... not me.
No, wait. You don't have to do it that way. You pick out the car. You know Wilson, the kind of car that'd suit him.
Oh, he'd only change it for the most beautiful car that was ever built. After all, he's got an eye for beauty.
And something that stands out from all the rest, huh?
Well, that's right. Why shouldn't he? He's Hollywood's biggest announcer. Why shouldn't he drive a car that's got the most class?
He should. And he should also drive the safest car. His safety means a lot to other people beside himself.
You're telling me. And there's something else Mr. W. likes especially well. And that's comfort.
Comfort? With those air foam cushions and that high roll center suspension, automatic no-clutch transmission, and the right kind of power steering and power brakes and air conditioning, man, driving that car is as effortless as eating breakfast in bed.
Here we are with tales of high octane. Here we are, we're on our way again. Lift that seat and open up the tank.
Fellas, excuse me, I hate to interrupt such a good production of it, but where's Wilson? Where's Don Wilson?
He'll be coming round the corner pretty soon. He'll be coming round.
Hold it, will you, boys? Look, here's what we're going to do. When Don gets back, we're going to help Rochester and try to talk Don into getting rid of this old relic and trying to get him to buy a new car. Do you want to help us?
Knock it off, fellas. Here he is now.
All set?
Almost.
Say, Don, we've been talking about some of the new cars.
And we know about one of the new ones that's really out of this world. Huh, fellas?
The car with the new $100 million look. The all-new 55 Chrysler.
Oh, I get it now. By some strange coincidence, you two fellas just happen to be working for Chrysler, don't you?
Let's say by a happy coincidence.
That's how we know about him, Don.
We just got back from Detroit.
Oh, did you see the new 55 Chryslers?
We did.
Oh, you're lucky.
Lucky's taste better, cleaner, fresher, smoother.
Cut, fellas. Look, I always admire the way you pick up cues, but after all, you're in the wrong commercial. We're just merely talking about automobiles.
Chryslers are better, safer, smarter, smoother.
Stop, fellas. Let's not overdo it.
Hey, wait, Don, this gives me a great idea. After all, you know, it's a matter of taste buying a car, too. Bill, why don't you tell them all about the new 55 Chrysler? The boys can write up some nice singing commercials, and we'll all get together, and maybe we can sell a new Chrysler to, you know who? Okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay?
I don't know who you fellas are ganging up on, but I do know that for the past several years, Chrysler engineers have been secretly working on a completely new car. What I want to know now, is this it?
Don, this is it.
That's good.
And getting better all the time.
And you probably know that during those years, the engineers have been experimenting with several idea cars.
You mean sort of dream cars of the future?
In a way, but a little more down to earth than the dream car approach. They've picked some of the tricky new things that people go for in this country and some of the best features of the most popular French and Italian sports cars, but they haven't copied anybody. The new Chrysler is completely new, from bumper to bumper. Completely revolutionary, without being,
Screwball?
let's say impractical.
You say impractical, I'll say screwball. What's that?
I don't know. Sounds like a telephone.
Rochester.
Oh, excuse me, I forgot. Mr. Don Wilson's phone. Radio and TV announcing neatly done.
I'm looking right at this kid, and I still don't believe it.
Haven't you fellas ever seen a car telephone before?
Yeah, it must be one of the early models.
Who in Detroit is calling, operator?
From blueprints of the things you wanted most in a motor car, Chrysler stylists, designers, and decorators created a totally new concept of automotive design in the magnificent all-new Chrysler for 1955. The car with
The $100 million look.
Here is brilliance of fashion in exterior line and color. Chrysler's new sweeping silhouette with superb new interior richness and ultra-luxurious riding comfort. You'll ride years ahead of the crowd in America's most smartly different motor car, Chrysler for 1955. now at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers. See him tomorrow. And now, the all-new Chrysler for 1955, America's most smartly different car. How rarely do you see a design worthy of setting a bold, new fashion? But when you do, you recognize in an instant that this is something new and truly lovely. And that has been the story of America's most smartly different motor car, the magnificent all-new Chrysler for 1955. In the few short weeks since its introduction, that thrilling, sweeping silhouette has already taken its place among the dreams of thousands of fashion-wise motorists. In every line and gleaming detail, Chrysler's new look of tailored steel demands attention, admiration, yes, and envy. And inside, you find luxurious interiors, finer and smarter than anything you've ever seen, with superb new miracle fabrics and accessories designed like jewels. In fact, you'll love to look at the glamorous new Chrysler. You'll take a real pleasure in discovering the flawless details that all add up to Chrysler's famous $100 million look. Because never before has a motor car been so completely right in every line and contour. This is true in the big innovations, such as the wonderful New Horizon Supersonic windshield, with its swept-back corner posts, and its distinctive new sun-capped chrome visor. It's equally true of the little things like the ingenious new Power Flight range selector on the dash, instead of the steering column. This is Chrysler for 1955, with long, graceful lines that make other big cars seem boxy by comparison, with a dash and splendor unmatched in all of motoring history. An authentic new fashion in motor cars. Chrysler. Drive one at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. The automotive designer lives in two worlds, the world of fashion and the precise world of engineering. Never have these two worlds been brought together in such happy harmony as in the new 1955 Chrysler. The massive divided grille, and behind it the mighty 250 horsepower firepower V8 engine. The impressive twin-tower taillights, and the safe, sure Chrysler power brakes that launch them into dazzling action. The smartness and rightness of the new Power Flight range selector on the dash. The sleek, wide-awake look of the safe New Horizon Supersonic windshield. America's most smartly different car, the 1955 Chrysler. Your Chrysler Plymouth dealer invites you to see and drive one tomorrow. And now, the all-new Chrysler for 1955, America's most smartly different car. Never before has there been so wide and exciting a choice. And you are the one whose happy task it is to make the decision. The decision as to which of the many new 1955 cars you will choose. Let us tell you why we believe your choice will inevitably be the superb, all-new Chrysler. First of all, because the 1955 Chrysler is America's most smartly different motor car. Different in its low, sweeping silhouette, in the massive grace of its divided grille and impressive front-end styling, so striking coming toward you. In the boldly daring new twin-tower taillights and graceful rear deck, so distinctively Chrysler. And secondly, you'll choose the all-new 1955 Chrysler for performance such as you've never known before in any car. Unmatched Chrysler engineered performance that is yours in either the magnificent New Yorker Deluxe with its sensational 250 horsepower firepower engine, or the dashing 188 horsepower Windsor Deluxe with its new V8 Spitfire power plant. For many other reasons that only you can discover for yourself, you'll choose the completely new Chrysler, the car you've dreamed of owning. Sleek, graceful, powerful, luxurious in the way it looks and in the way it rides, thrilling in the way it drives. Here is the prestige and power of leadership expressed in a form you and all who see you will understand. Chrysler, at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. See him and make Chrysler your choice for 1955 now. Do you want power? 250 horsepower for top performance. Power to help keep you safe. Then drive the 1955 Chrysler. Do you want features that add immeasurably to your enjoyment? Like the new Horizon Super Scenic Windshield, full-time power steering, power brakes, the smoothest of all fully automatic transmissions. Then drive the all-new 1955 Chrysler. Do you want beauty? A distinctive new styling with a low, sleek, sweeping silhouette that outmodes the boxy lines of other cars. Then drive and own America's most smartly different car, the new 1955 Chrysler. See your Chrysler Plymouth dealer tomorrow. And now your Chrysler TV caravan takes you to Santa Claus, Indiana. In this bustling little farming community of southern Indiana, St. Nick is a big man all the year round. But his permanent home here is especially bursting with activity at this time of the year, as our big, beautiful 1955 Chrysler brings more visitors to Santa Claus Land. They find Santa's workshops humming, trying desperately to beat the deadline. And the post office is swamped with late arrivals among the 4 million pieces of mail that pass through here each year. But we want to use this bustling background to plant a happy thought. There's still time to make this a Chrysler Christmas. Still time to give your family the $100 million gift, a superb new 1955 Chrysler. Let's look a moment at what you would give. America's most smartly different car, designed with a low, sweeping silhouette that already has set a bold new fashion in motor cars. Chrysler's sleek new $100 million look, made up of countless fine details that lift this car above the rest. Details like the striking new twin-tower taillights, the impressive divided grille, the new Horizon Super Scenic Windshield with swept-back posts that gives you 20% greater vision, and new interior richness that spells real luxury, with fabrics never before used in a car, and appointments designed like fine jewels. You'll give all Chryslers power driving aids, like full-time power steering that works every second of the time, plus power brakes and smooth, easy power flight transmission. But most of all, you'll give the pride and the power of leadership, the superb all-new 1955 Chrysler. Order one now so you can announce it to your family on Christmas Day. See your Chrysler Plymouth dealer tomorrow and make this the finest Christmas your family has ever had. Say, we're just in time to see Santa himself now, coming back from a trial run. But I guess you can't blame him for wishing he drove a new 1955 Chrysler instead. You get behind the wheel and you'll see why. Or just take a look at that fashion-setting, sweeping silhouette, sleek and low, with a thrilling sense of motion. Why not make up your mind right now? Give your family the $100 million gift. Order a new 1955 Chrysler tomorrow as a thrilling surprise. If your Chrysler Plymouth dealer can't deliver by Christmas, perhaps he can give you the scale model as a symbol of your gift. And a Merry Chrysler Christmas to you all. And now your Chrysler TV caravan takes you to New York City, New York. Here's your chance for a quick 2-minute visit to glamorous Manhattan, one of the country's greatest business, theatrical, and fashion centers. Down famous Fifth Avenue we go, past smart shops and giant stores that help to set the fashion pace for all the world. Names like Bergdorf Goodman, Tiffany's, Lord & Taylor. Names which signify the very latest in style and fashion. So it's no wonder we find a store like Russik's choosing the superb new 1955 Chrysler as the focal point of its display of fashion firsts, the all-new 1955 Chrysler, designed to catch the eye and the imagination of even the most casual passerby. With head-turning lines and contours that make it America's most exciting, most smartly different motor car. It's a car you'll find in front of New York's finest addresses. Low and sleek, with Chrysler's new $100 million look, designed to give you the power of leadership and the feeling of proud accomplishment no other car can match. Its sweeping silhouette is as crisp and functional as the clean, impressive lines of the towering skyscrapers. Its well-bred poise reflects the kind of gracious life for which the Waldorf Astoria is justly famed. And in its every fine detail, this style and functional rightness finds expression. The wide New Horizon supersonic windshield with its swept-back corner posts that gives you 20% greater safety vision. The revolutionary new PowerFlight range selector on the dash instead of on the steering column. America's most smartly different car. An authentic new fashion in design, a tremendous step ahead in performance. The forward look in Chrysler for 1955. Drive one at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Manhattan's vast 840-acre Central Park offers a perfect setting for showing you some of the 1955 Chrysler's many fine features. Chrysler full-time power steering, for example, feather light, yet under perfect control all the time. And Chrysler's safe, sure power brakes for quick, smooth stops. Horsepower for thrilling performance and extra safety with Chrysler's famed firepower V8 engines. And good news for used car buyers, all these features are yours in the fine late model used Chryslers being traded in by buyers of the new 1955 models. Your Chrysler Plymouth dealer is now well stocked with wonderful used cars, all safety checked for your protection. See him tomorrow.
Live from Television City in Hollywood. Special guest, Mel Allen. Starring in Shower of Stars. Hollywood's brightest stars making their television appearance in full color. Brought to you by Chrysler Corporation, maker of these fine, great cars. Plymouth, Soto, Chrysler, and the exclusive Imperial, Chrysler Corporation. Now here is your host for Chrysler Corporation, William Lundigan.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Shower of Stars. Well, we've just taken you out to the ball game, in a manner of speaking, and now we're going to take you down a new kind of automobile assembly line with rhythm and rhyme.
The Chrysler Corporation. Look to the forward look. Everything about it is brand new. All the country took to the forward look, and so by Jiminy, will you?
It's easy to see the country road by. The swept-back windshield is the reason why. Our power steering works full time. Our power brakes let you stop on the dime.
Look to the forward look. Everything about it is brand new. All the country took to the forward look. And so by Jiminy, will you?
Power flight transmission makes you go like flash with drive selector on the dash. Men love the engine most of all, so powerful it makes them feel 10 feet tall.
Look to the forward look. Everything about it is brand new. All the country took to the forward look. And so by Jiminy, will you?
Put it all together and you have got the car of the year that is genuine hot. Its beautiful lines are so low, low, low. Even standing still, it looks like go.
Look to the forward look. Everything about it is brand new. All the country took to the forward look. And so by Jiminy, will you?
But don't buy a Jiminy.
Buy a Plymouth, Dodge, DeSoto, Chrysler, or Imperial. The forward look from Chrysler Corporation. Chrysler Corporation.
Hello there. What are you reading?
Oh, hi, Miss Costa. It's a swell book called Let's Take a Trip.
Ooh, let's take a trip in our car. Sounds exciting, huh? Boy, look here. What does this do here? You pull... What? Why, that's pretty good. Can I take a look?
Sure.
Oh, boy, is this on sale?
Oh, sure. Practically every place in town. And I know why you like it.
Why?
Because all the cars are those forward look cars that you keep talking about.
Yes, I've noticed that. Say, tell me, when you and your family take your vacation this summer, what kind of car are you going to go in?
Are you kidding?
As I have always said and still say, there's a kid that's going places, and so is his dad. And you can too, whether you choose the powerful Plymouth V8 or the road-proven 6. You know, they say it's difficult for a woman to keep a secret. Well, I'll tell you a secret. Sometimes it's pretty difficult for a man to keep a secret. For instance, here is one that I have been itching to talk about for over a year. See this Plymouth Belvedere? One of the great new cars of the forward look. Take a really good look, because I'd like to have you try and tell the difference between this Plymouth and the one you're about to see.
Actually, there are two differences about this car. One, you can't buy it at any price. Two, it runs with no carburetor, no piston rings, no radiator, with only one spark plug, and on ordinary fuels you can buy anywhere. And here under the hood, you see the big difference. It's the Chrysler gas turbine engine, the first turbine engine ever to be successfully installed in a standard passenger car. Yes, here is another great first from Chrysler Corporation. More than 200 pounds lighter than a conventional engine of similar power, it has less than 1/5 as many moving parts. Developed by Chrysler Corporation to power a regular production model, you can hardly pick it out from other Plymouths, unless you happen to spot the special insignia that tells you there's a revolutionary engine under that hood. The horsepower it develops is 120. However, the driving power it delivers to the wheels equals that of a 160 horsepower conventional engine. As for fuel economy, it is comparable to any 120 horsepower car engine today. What's more, a gas turbine engine will run on anything from gasoline to heavy fuel oil. This car has no radiator. Its engine is air-cooled, therefore never needs water. Other attempts to design a practical turbine engine resulted in extremely hot, burning exhaust gases. But Chrysler Corporation engineers licked that problem. The exhaust temperature is cooler than that of the average car today. You can hold your hand over this exhaust pipe and not get burned. The Turbine Special is just one of many research projects in progress at Chrysler Corporation. And as each new advance is perfected, It will be made available to you to keep you ahead in car performance, in safety, and in styling.
Now do you see why I wanted to shout about this? And even though the turbine engine may not be available for some time to come, the important thing to you and me is that it typifies the kind of engineering that you've come to expect from Chrysler Corporation. It's the years ahead thinking that has resulted in today's Plymouth, Dodge, DeSoto, Chrysler, and the exclusive Imperial.
Oh, what a life. It's the life of a ball-player's wife. While you sit and you knit, or you knit and you sit, all your days could not be better. Then at night, go to dine, get to bed before 9, 'cause tomorrow's a double header. Long on its way, when the teams have a losing game. One look at him when he gets home, you gave him that's the score. You'll know that he went 0 for 3 when he kicks in the door. And he greets you with the sort of kiss that makes him 0 for 4. What a life!
Power of Stars has been brought to you by Chrysler Corporation, maker of these 5 great cars. Plymouth, Dodge, DeSoto, Chrysler, and the exclusive Imperial. Only Chrysler Corporation brings you the Forward Look. Chrysler Corporation Shower of Stars has been selected for viewing by America's Armed Forces overseas. Art Gilmore speaking.
And now, watch. For here is sheer magic. For now, the completely all-new Plymouth comes to life. It's longer, more than 10 inches longer. It's lower, it's wider, it's bigger. Here, for the first time, is a truly big luxury car in the lowest price field. Never before has so much beauty, so much styling, so much motor car been offered to so many for so little. Everybody wants a car with clean, sweeping lines, styled with imagination and good taste. This is it, a new idea of advanced styling. For example, that bigger, truly wide-angle windshield is wrapped around at the top as well as at the bottom. As a result, those strong, slenderized pillars are moved way back for unobstructed vision and cleaner styling. And that same beautiful advanced new styling is carried into a whole new concept of interior color harmony. Everywhere inside this modern beauty, you see the new idea at work. Here are new and luxurious upholstery fabrics in a wide selection of weaves and color harmonies. Smart new vinyl trims, gleaming, smartly styled hardware, all adding up to a car whose beauty and quality are more than just surface appeal. Notice how complete this color harmony is. Headlining, upholstery, carpeting. Everything is color-keyed to blend perfectly, to give this all-new car a satisfying appearance of stunning beauty. Up front, there's more roomy luxury, more eye-catching distinction, more comfort, more convenience than ever before. Yes, this is the car. This is the styling that makes Plymouth the one car designed for the young in heart.
Ladies and gentlemen, a good evening to you. This is John Cameron Swayze reporting the news for the biggest car of the low price 3, Plymouth.
Plymouth, the car that's making news, presents the Plymouth News Caravan, the excitement, the drama of today's news today. Produced for Plymouth by NBC.
Now to New York's famous Hotel Waldorf Astoria for important news about Plymouth.
Arriving at the towering Waldorf, Mr. John P. Mansfield, President, and Mr. William J. Byrd, Sales Vice President of Plymouth. They're here for a special news conference attended by representatives of newspapers, magazines, radio, and TV. And now to Mr. Byrd.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the last time I talked with you, we were about to introduce our new 55 Plymouth to the people of America. The car was all new. It had new engines, 6 and V8, a new chassis, and a new body styled with a forward look, designed especially for the young in heart. At that time, I said we had great hopes for this car, but the proof, of course, remained to be seen. How would the people throughout the country react? I now have the answer. They love it. Judging by sales to people, not just production figures, this is Plymouth's year. The first quarter figures are in. They show an 85% increase over last year. It's the biggest January, February, and March in Plymouth history. Our present sales are running at the rate of 1 Plymouth, delivered every 11 seconds of the working day, 6 days a week. We at Plymouth want everyone to know that we're delighted with this tremendous acceptance by people everywhere of the all-new 55 Plymouth.
Yes, Plymouth's sales are soaring. Plymouth's the biggest car in its field and the most beautiful car at any price. And remember, every 11 seconds of the working day, 6 days a week, a beautiful new Plymouth is delivered to somebody in these United States. The big swing is to the big Plymouth. Drive a new 55 Plymouth and you'll join that swing. See your Plymouth dealer tomorrow.
Now, here at home, an unusual story linking the worlds of art and automobiles.
Here at the Society of Illustrators building, in the heart of New York City, the executives of Plymouth are being honored with an award that's without precedent in automobile history. First to arrive, Plymouth President John P. Mansfield and Mrs. Mansfield. Awaiting the other officials are America's most famous artists, whose work you see in books, magazines, newspapers everywhere. And arriving now, Plymouth's Sales Vice President William J. Byrd and Mrs. Byrd. Here with his wife, Mr. Henry T. King, Director of Plymouth Styling. And for the significance of the gathering, a rare occasion indeed, we'll hear from Mr. Robert Geisman, Distinguished President of the Artist Group.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Society of Illustrators likes to reward beauty. Beauty on canvas, beauty in print, and beauty of industrial design. And tonight, for the first time in our history, we have the pleasure to reward a group of designers, the men and women who created the 1955 Plymouth. There is no real reason why a low-priced car cannot be more beautiful than a high-priced car. The designers of Plymouth have proven this. So, to Mr. John P. Mansfield, President of Plymouth, it is my privilege to present this medallion. It reads, "To Plymouth, in honor of the men and women who designed the 1955 Plymouth, most beautiful car of the year."
Thank you, Mr. Geisman. And to the entire membership of your distinguished organization, on behalf of all the people who created the all-new 55 Plymouth, I'm very proud to accept this award. Coming from the most talented and perceptive artists in the world today, it is indeed an exceptional honor. It's a tremendous vote of confidence to Plymouth designers and stylists. And for the thousands and thousands of owners of the new 55 Plymouth, this award must come as a proud affirmation of their own good taste and judgment. Again, for everybody at Plymouth, I thank you and the Society of Illustrators.
Tomorrow, see and drive America's most beautiful car the all-new 55 Plymouth.
Well, that's the story, folks. Glad we could get together. Remember to tune in the Camel News Caravan at this time tomorrow night, brought to you by Camel. No other cigarette is so rich tasting, yet so mild as Camel. And now this is John Cameron Swayze saying good night for the all-new 55 Plymouth, the biggest car of the low price 3.
The Plymouth News Caravan with John Cameron Swayze is brought to you by Plymouth, a great new car for the young in heart.
And speaking of races, yes, speaking of races, here's the start of a big one against all existing world records that a Chrysler engine won less than 2 months ago. Here's the driver, Sam Hanks, AAA national champion race driver, getting ready for the drive of his life in a Curtis Craft racer powered by a 447 horsepower racing version of the Chrysler passenger car V8 engine. Hanks took off on the 4 7/10 mile concrete speed test track. After a warm-up lap, he tore past the race's traditional green flag to contest the international speed record established on the same track on June 16th by Jack McGrath, the third-place winner in this year's Indianapolis event. McGrath's speed of more than 179 miles per hour bettered the previous record by almost 40 miles per hour. But Hanks is really pouring it on. That Chrysler-powered racer is doing better than 3 miles per minute. When the checkered flag fell, Hanks had set a new world's record of 182.5 miles per hour.
Well, that was a real record breaker. It's one you've read about, and we thought you'd like to see it. If there is one question I've been asked more often than almost any other, it's this: are we going to have our own television program? And now I can say yes to that in detail. Yes, we are going to have our own Chrysler Division TV show. Yes, it's going to be a big-time show on NBC. Yes, it's going to be a brand new show. Yes, it will be on a popular nighttime spot. I know you want a top-notch show that will really sell Chrysler and Chrysler cars. And believe me, that is exactly what you're going to have. What's more, it starts not a couple of months from now, but just a week from next Tuesday night. Naturally, before deciding on this particular show, we looked at a lot of them. One was head and shoulders above the others. So that's the one we got for you. Here's the yardstick we used in picking the show. It was based on what your TV show must do. First, it has to attract a good audience, the right size and the right kind. Second, it has to keep the audience week after week. Third, and most important of all, the TV show must sell the product. That's what we were looking for in a TV show, and believe me, that's what you will have every week starting Tuesday night, September 7th. And now, instead of having me try to tell you about the show itself, I'm sure you'd rather hear from a man who's an expert on TV and already an expert on your new Chrysler show. He's also a man who will be working for us, for all of us, from now on, every week. Here he is, a grand guy, the man on the show who will sell you and Chrysler. Your new announcer, Ron Rawson.
Thank you, Mr. Braden. And hello, everybody. Well, as Mr. Braden told you, I'll be working for you every week, talking about Chrysler to your customers and your prospects in their own homes. You know, this chart that Mr. Braden set up here is certainly right on the button, because what I have to say fits right into it. But first, suppose I give you a thumbnail sketch of the show itself. It's a series of hilariously funny stories about two ex-GIs who drove to Hollywood looking for work. And they stumble into all kinds of unexpected difficulties in finding a place to live and later in trying to track down jobs for each other. And it all leads up to some of the funniest comedy situations seen on TV for a long time. And it's very appropriately called It's a Great Life. Now, of course, like any good show, you have to see it to appreciate how good it is. As a matter of fact, it wasn't until I had seen a sneak preview of the first show on It's a Great Life that I realized what a real TV hit we'll have in this new Chrysler show. One of the reasons is the fine talent on the show. The two ex-GIs are played by a couple of new young stars that many of you may already know, Michael O'Shea and Bill Bishop. Both are already well-established entertainers, and their work in this show will add still more to their popularity. Another major character in the show is played by Jimmy Dunn. Now, as most of you know, he was the star in A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. But now let's get back to why the show fits so well into this chart Mr. Braden has put up here. Will it attract a good-sized audience? Well, the popularity of shows like I Love Lucy and Our Miss Brooks is pretty good proof that comedy pulls better week after week than even the best serious drama is able to do. Now, will it attract the right kind of people? Yes, and for a number of reasons. The humor isn't the slapstick kind, but rather the more subtle kind that'll appeal to Chrysler-type prospects. The show is definitely adult in appeal, not juvenile. And finally, it has a higher level appeal than most of the panel shows, variety shows, giveaways, and whodunits. Now, I'm sure there's no doubt about our show's ability to keep the audience. Ours is the kind of entertainment that people look forward to seeing every week. Just the way you and I do, they get attached to their favorite characters and hate to miss a single chance to see what will happen next. And speaking of what will happen next, we would have had O'Shea, Bishop, and Dunn here in person too, but they're so busy working for you out in Hollywood that they just couldn't make it. But since this is television, I think we can use a special kind of hookup and take a quick look in on them out there on the set. I hope they're ready, because here we go.
Earl, don't you think you ought to order something to eat?
I can't wait. I'm starved.
I haven't had anything to eat since...
What's the matter with you? Whoa.
It's a breadstick. It's poison.
Oh, don't be silly. What can be wrong with a breadstick?
You can't get poison from it. Oh, yes, you can. Listen, this man is dying. You better call ambulance, Steve. Ambulance?
First call a lawyer. We'll sue the joint.
Look, stop trying to make a fast buck. All we want to do is get out of here.
All right, cut.
Oh! Kid, you're getting heavy. What's the matter, Chris? I've been launched. Somebody goof?
Yeah. We better go and rehearse this again.
Okay.
Here we are, fellas. We have some visitors. There are thousands of Chrysler dealers waiting to meet you.
Tell them to wait outside till we're ready.
Chrysler dealers? What do you say, man? I'm Michael O'Shea. I'm running the whole thing all by myself.
William Bishop.
And I'm glad to see you.
I'm Jimmy Dunn.
Hello, fella. I'm Barbara Bates.
Hey, men, fellas, boys, Chrysler dealers, you're not paying attention. Oh, murder. Barbara, you better come over here and stand, because if you don't, we won't get in this picture at all. Wow, E. Isn't she a doll?
Hey, wait.
Charming?
Wait a minute. She's supposed to be my girl, aren't you, honey?
Yes, Bill.
Yes, Bill. Isn't that sickening?
I like it.
Oh, you traitor. Barbara, tell me, why do you choose him instead of me? Because after all, I have a brand new Chrysler convertible, and man, it runs so smooth, and it's real great for parking too. And I thought that you and I could go out.
Listen, if anybody takes Barbara riding, it's me.
Now, just a minute, Barbara. You want to leave these callow young men. What you need is a slightly older, more sophisticated man.
Now, just a minute, boys. I'm Frances Barbier, and I play Barbara's mother. And I don't think she's safe with these boys. I'm not sure she'd be safe with you either. Come along, dear.
You want to know something? I don't think Frances Barbier would be safe with you guys either.
Right. Hey, Jimmy, look. I've got a date with Barbara tonight, and I'm a little short. I wonder...
Short, huh? Well, you'll grow.
Oh. Mike, listen. I've got to take Barbara out, and I left my wallet and the other clothes.
Oh.
Can you help me out?
Why, sure, buddy. Be glad to. It's a cinch. You know, I know just how you feel. I took a girl out once and I forgot my wallet. Man, was it embarrassing. Came time to pay. No money, no wallet. Here, use mine.
All right, fellas, back on the set.
Coming.
Let's do this scene.
Coming. Well, fellas, I guess that's about it. It's going to be great being with you. And like I always say, if you got to travel, it's nice to travel first class. See you around.
That's right. And we can assure you that we're going to do our best to get the best laughs, the best audiences, and the best ready-made sales prospects. And I think together, we'll sell a lot of Chryslers in 55.
We've been working on this series for months already, and we're going to be working around the clock for you next year. No sleep? Take it.
Always kidding.
Well, fellas, I guess... Oh, before we go, I want to do something. I want you to meet our director. You're sniping.
Come on,
Fred.
Hurry up.
Come on, here, you. Hurry up.
Get out here. Get the spot.
Hey.
Oh, you ready?
That's enough done. You're overdoing it. Fellas, that's all for now. We'll look for you on NBC maybe in a couple of weeks or so, huh? Okay, take it easy and get up and get out and go to work.
Come on, get off.
And here we are back in New York again. And that brings us to what you and I know is the most important point of all on that chart. Your show must sell the product. Your new Chryslers, your used cars, and your dealership. After all, when you buy a television show, you're using good entertainment to attract a big audience for just one reason. So you can talk to them about what you have to sell. Now, if we don't make the best possible use of those few minutes, all I can say is we've been mighty generous to everybody except us. And that's why we are going all out to make the commercials on this show of yours just about the most effective ones on the air. So every week I'll be doing my very best to sell more Chryslers for you, to the people in your area. That includes urging them to come in and see you at the Chrysler dealer, where they'll find fine cars, both new and used, the best people in the world to do business with, and a service department they can really depend on. So I'll be seeing you and your prospects a week from Tuesday.
It's Dodge for 55. Flashing ahead in style, in value, in performance. Yes, it's the Flair Fashion Dodge for 55. Bringing you the winners of the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences Award. Danny Thomas. Gene Hagen as his wife. And Jerry Jackson and Rusty Hamer as their children. Make room for Daddy.
Isn't this a beautiful car? I just drove it back from Detroit, and while I was there, I went through the Dodge plant. And I want to tell you, I talked with the big people, and not the president or the vice president of the brass, but the really big people, the people who build the Dodge car, Mr. and Mrs. Johnny Q. Public. As I was going through the plants, I mean, the enthusiasm was just, it caught on like wildfire. They were waving and yelling to me, and I yelling back to them like a bunch of high school kids at a championship football game. And honestly, I share their enthusiasm because we all feel we've got the finest car built.
Hello, I'm Rex Marshall, and I'm here to tell you about the car of 100 surprises, the Flair Fashion Dodge for 1955. Now, your first surprise is the sheer size of this new Dodge. It's lower, wider, and a full foot longer. Every inch is Flair Fashion. You can see it in the bold forward thrust of its hood. The new Horizon sweep-around windshield that encircles you in a glass cockpit. The proud flare of its rear deck with dramatic twin-jet taillights that capture the feeling of flight. And then, when you get behind the wheel of this 55 Dodge, you step right into the world of tomorrow with the magic of flight control that puts the future at your fingertips. Yes, this is the Flair Fashion Dodge for 1955, the car of 100 surprises. So make sure you get down to your Dodge dealers this weekend, won't you? Believe me, it's some car. Hello, I'm Rex Marshall, and what I'm about to show you right now is going to change your ideas about motor cars for a long time to come. Are you ready? Well, here it is. The brilliant new Dodge for 55, flashing ahead with the flair of the future. See how low it is, and how long. A full foot longer than last year's car. And just take a look at that low aircraft-styled hood. The New Horizon windshield that encircles you in a glass cockpit. And the proud sweep of flaring rear deck with dramatic twin-jet taillights that capture the feeling of flight. Inside, too, this new Dodge is flare-fashioned with the magic of flight control that puts the future at your fingertips. Yes, this is Dodge for 55, flashing ahead in style, in beauty, and in performance. Isn't that some car, though?
This is a photo taken from the inside through the windshield of a new car, not a Dodge, but a competitive car that has a so-called wraparound windshield. Notice how that upright corner post causes a blind spot which blocks out part of the wall chart. See the number 90 on the left of the post? Now, here's a picture taken from exactly the same position through a Dodge New Horizon windshield. There is no blind spot. The numbers are clearly visible right up to 90. Now notice how the other car's upright windshield post sticks out awkwardly into the door frame. In comparison, the Dodge post is gently slanted for safe, easy entrance and far more graceful appearance. Now, here's a competitive car's rear door frame. See that ugly wheel housing? But in the new Dodge, there's no visible wheel housing, and you have easy, comfortable entering and seating. These are only a few of the many styling, safety, and performance features which make the new Dodge your buy of the year.
You gotta drive it to believe it. The Dodge for 55. You won't believe it till you drive it. The Dodge for 55. With power flight, power brake, and power steering. Dodge is on everyone's list. So take command, get the thrill firsthand. The future's at your fingertips. You gotta dive it to believe it. That goes style, flow style, flare style, 55 Dodge. Flare fashion with its swept-back windshield. Dodge flashes ahead in style. And with power flight, automatic driving, Dodge flashes ahead every mile. You gotta drive it to believe it. That goes style, flow style, flare style, 55 Dodge.
Folks, we'll be back next week for Pall Mall Famous Cigarettes. Tonight's show is brought to you by your dependable Dodge dealer.
Oh, remember to watch Bert Parks in Break the Bank on the same network. Check your newspaper for time and station.
Remember, too, that Dodge has done it for 55.
Good night.
Alternately by Pall Mall, Famous Cigarettes, and the dependable Dodge Plymouth dealer in your neighborhood.
Live from Television City in Hollywood, Betty Grable. Special guests from the Chrysler family. William Bishop, James Dunn, Gene Hagen, Rochelle Hudson, Marshall Mark, Michael O'Shea, Gil Stratton Jr., Sammy Thomas. brightest stars making their television appearance in full color. Brought to you by Chrysler Corporation, makers of these 5 great cars. Plymouth, Dodge, DeSoto, Chrysler, and Imperial. Chrysler Corporation. And now, here is your host for Chrysler Corporation, William Lundigan.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we're bringing you on Shower of Stars, Entertainment on Wheels, and the presentation of the 5 most beautiful things on wheels, the new Chrysler Corporation cars, the Big 5 for 55. Well, we've given you a touch of the colorful history of entertainment on wheels. Now we'd like to take you into the future, show you what's in store for America on wheels in 1955, the year of the forward look. The look they're all looking at, look. The look that transfixes the careful, intrigues the wise, challenges the alert, and alerts the discerning. It's the dazzling new Dodge Sierra station wagon. Ah, it's really sleek looking, isn't it? Lower and a foot longer than ever before, and it's wider, too. Another of the all-new Chrysler Corporation cars for 55. No wonder they say that Dodge is alive with beauty. Huh, I wonder who it belongs to. Well, why the long face, Danny?
Oh, I'm sorry, Bill.
But what's the trouble when you own such a beautiful car?
Well, that's just it. I want to show it off to all my neighbors, and my family drags me here in the woods to show it off to the chipmunks.
Honey?
Huh? What do I know? What am I, a genius or something? Come on, where are the kids? What are we doing here?
Darling, you know they've got to get the flowers for the school.
Why, is the school sick? Been out there since 9 o'clock this morning. They're not picking flowers. They're waiting for them to grow.
Well, I'm glad they're taking such a long time. Oh, I love it out here in the country. So peaceful and so quiet and so inspiring and so... Oh, there just aren't enough words to describe it.
I'll lend you one.
Daddy, what's the matter with you? What's wrong with the country?
Nothing's wrong with the country. I love the country. I just wish I could move it into the city.
Well, the children are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're enjoying it, huh? What happens if while they're out there picking flowers, they get poison ivy, huh? What happens?
Huh?
3 o'clock in the morning, it starts to itch. They start to scratch. Then you wake me up. I have to go to the drugstore to get the calamine or whatever it is I gotta get. 3 o'clock in the morning, the drugstore's closed. We spend the whole night with the kids while they're itching and scratching. We send them to school the next day. The teacher sends them back because poison ivy is contagious. Poison ivy? Come out of there! Stop picking up flowers!
Daddy, for heaven's sake, calm down, will you? The kids know all about poison ivy, so just stop worrying.
Stop worrying. Sure, what do you care? I had to get up this morning 3 o'clock and go to the drugstore.
Daddy, did you want us?
Huh?
No, honey, it was a mistake.
I'll say, expecting to find a drugstore open at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Come on, go pick flowers, will you? I'll turn the car around so we can make a quick getaway.
Daddy, you can always get a quick getaway with a Dodge. It has the super-powered Grid Ram V8 engine at 130 horsepower that utilizes the principle of the hemispherical combustion chamber with lateral intake and exhaust valves, which contribute to its marvelously complete and efficient utilization of fuel.
How many times have I told you no baby talk? Come on, go pick the flowers.
Daddy?
Huh?
The Dodge is flare fashioned with the new horizontal swept back windshield.
Huh?
And these taillights jutting back to add to the feeling of motion. Well, any way you look at it, Dodge flashes ahead.
You don't know the Josephine College here. Go pick the flowers.
And, Daddy, the room inside is magnificently capacious. He means it's big enough to hold everything but the kitchen sink. And
I know. I'll go pick the flowers. Capacious. Sometimes your kids give me a capacious pain in my neck.
What's the matter with Daddy? Yeah, what's he so mad about?
Not mad, Rusty. The word is angry.
Well, he sure gets awfully mad when he's angry.
Here, come on, that's enough flowers. And it's a good thing I went to pick them, kid. There's a whole clump of poison ivy hidden in those bushes. The kids might have picked that. Here. What's the matter with you?
There's a big clump of poison oak out there, too.
Huh?
And a small cluster of poison sumac.
So what?
So you picked them.
Holy Keep it, what am I going to do?
Daddy, you'd better practice up on your scratches.
Oh, you be quiet.
Honey, I think you better wash your hands with some strong soap.
Yeah, you're so right.
Where are you going, Daddy?
Oh, you're such a wise guy. You're supposed to know everything about this car. So the rear end is big enough to hold everything but the kitchen sink, huh? Well, take a look, Professor.
Your new Dodge station wagon has plenty of room for carrying anything you want, and this wonderful car is only one of many Dodge models which flash ahead for 55. You can see the all-new Dodge close-up right now at your dealers. Hey, there go Betty Grable and Harry James. I wonder where they're heading for.
Here it is, honey. It'll only take a minute.
But it's getting late. The first race goes in half an hour.
I just want you to take a look at the 1955 DeSoto. It's...
But I've got big noise running in the first race. Jumping citation.
Yes, the 1955 DeSoto, the car that's styled for tomorrow. The DeSoto brings you the exclusive Power Flight range selector in its brand new location on the control panel. The 1955 DeSoto is lower, wider, and longer, with a look of action in every line. How do you like it?
Oh, it's a beauty.
Hey, it looks like plenty of staying power. Ought to be great in the stretch. Wow, what a beautiful bridle.
See how those contour lines are built right into the body, Mr. James? You give that added feeling that the car is moving even when it's standing still.
Oh, that's just the opposite of Harry's horses. They seem to be standing still even when they're moving.
Well, they may not be fast, but they're sweet. Anyway, I know a thoroughbred when I see one, and nobody has to tell me that this isn't an odds-on favorite.
As you can see, my husband has a one-track mind.
One track? Why, there's Hollywood, Golden Gate, Santa Anita, Jamaica.
Go on, Mr. Gilmore.
Well, Mr. James, like all Chrysler Corporation cars for 1955, the new DeSoto emerges all new, not just a redesigned version of last year's model.
Oh?
Maybe I can explain it. Honey, this is DeSoto, out of Detroit, by Chrysler Corporation.
Oh, well, why didn't he say so?
It comes equipped with either the mighty Fire Dome 185 horsepower V8 engine or the Fireflight 200 horsepower V8.
What?
Honey, that means it's just the same as if your DeSoto were being pulled by 200 native dancers.
Wow, now you're talking.
Why don't you take it out for a drive and see for yourself?
Oh, I'd love to.
Hey,
Hop in, honey.
Wonderful. Hey, this is all right.
All righty. All righty, where to?
Santa Anita, where else?
Isn't this wonderful?
Yeah.
Turn on the radio.
Okay.
And now for today's chapter of Honeymoon Cottage, the program that asks the question, can two ordinary run-of-the-mill people find happiness running a mill?
Papa loves mambo. Mama loves mambo. Look at him sway with it, getting so gay with it, shouting olay with it, wow. Ooh, Papa loves mambo. Mama loves mambo. Papa does great with it, swings like a gate with it, he loses weight with it now. he goes to. He goes left, she goes right. Papa's looking for Mama, but Mommy's nowhere in sight.
And now, You Bet Your Life, starring Groucho Marx.
That's me. Home, Jameses.
With a forward look to lead the way, motorists are bound to find that 1955 will be their peak year. But some people can't wait till 1955. They want to take their peak this year, right now. Star of the Plymouth Show. That's my boy. Hello, Eddie.
Hello, Bill.
You know, Eddie, tonight certainly marks a milestone in the automotive industry, doesn't it?
Tonight does, Bill. Tonight. Up until tonight, Bill, I'm afraid that as I look out over the field of transportation, I was afraid that the evening sun was setting on some of those old, reliable automotive features, such as your standard 4.5-pound crook-shaped automatic crank. And I saw that evening sun sinking down into the west, down into the horizon of the west, Bill, down into the gook of that horizon. And I was ready to say with Shakespeare that I hate to see that evening sun go down, but not anymore, Bill. No, we're ready to go forward with the forward look, Bill. Take a look.
Well, let's take a look. You know, Eddie, I hope you realize that your 1955 Plymouth
is a completely new car in the lowest priced field, Bill. Do you realize that it is by far the biggest car in the lowest price field? And take a look, Bill. It is actually 17 feet long, and it has that forward look.
Now, Eddie.
Yeah, well, please, Bill. Sorry. Of course, we have here the complete full view, larger wrapped around windshield.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and don't forget that you've got your V8 high fire engine in here, the V8 high fire. And do you realize that that engine develops up to 177 horsepower? Think of that, Bill.
And you can also have the new Plymouth with a new 6-cylinder Power Flow 117 horsepower engine, too, you know.
Didn't I say that, Bill?
No, you didn't.
And in every gallon of gasoline that you put in that engine, Bill, you've just bound to get more of that old Geo. But Ed, I'm going to tell the family that the car is here. They're going to be so excited.
Oh, all right, yes.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. Tubeless tires.
Yes, you also forgot to mention that there's standard equipment on all Chrysler Corporation cars, too.
Well, Bill, I didn't want to monopolize the conversation. Junior boy, are you ready with that bowl of hot water and that clean towel?
Wowie, wow, Dad.
Look at that gorgeous new Plymouth. Boy, isn't that beautiful.
Oh, here we go. Junior, here. Is that right, son?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Junior. Okay. That's sure. Just right. Uh-oh. Well, dear, what do you think of this beautiful car?
Oh, it's just lovely.
Isn't it wonderful?
Just beautiful. Mabel,
That's left-hand
please.
drive.
Oh.
Right.
Jack, let's not get carried away.
Carried away, dear? Just think of what went into the manufacture of this car. Think of the engineer who designed it, working his way through Massachusetts, please. Massachusetts Institute of Technology, please. Not that tweezers always do it. There we are. Alice, that tree. Got to go. Now, where was I, dear?
I don't know where you were, but the engineer was at MIT.
Well, that's right. And then days and nights. I can see him there, days and nights at the designing board to bring us this beautiful 1955 model. Carried away, you say, honey, it's just my way of saying thanks.
Well,
See?
I'll cook the turkey and we'll celebrate a week early.
Wonderful idea.
Now, how about let's go for a
Right, you are, but don't touch the door, dear. There are gloves in my pocket. Take them out. Don't be too careful. Right, you are. All right.
Jack, really?
Well, we can't be too careful with this beautiful new car. All right, dear. In you go. Junior, will you join your mother in the front seat? Mabel, are you ready?
If you want me, I'll be back in surgery.
Mabel, you're just going to have to get over the fact that you were one of the Mayo brothers. Now, get in there. Now, folks, I want you to prepare yourself for the ride of a lifetime. Yes, folks, we've come a long way since the beginning of transportation, since those early days of the covered wagon. Folks, with this beautiful new 1955 Plymouth, you've got your comfort, you've got your safety, you've got your efficiency, and you've got your beauty. Folks, it's got a lot of that old go, go, go. Well, looks like it's gone, gone, but that's my car.
Find Michael O'Shea, William Bishop, and James Dunn, stars of the Chrysler Show. It's a great night. You probably know them better as Denny, Steve, and Earl.
Hi, fellas. What are you doing in front of Ciro's at 1 o'clock in the morning?
I have a date.
With who?
How does he know who he's going to see in front of Steelers at 1 o'clock in the morning?
No, seriously, I have a date and... Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Where?
Where?
Over there.
The 1955 Chrysler, all new from bumper to tail light. Another example of the forward look.
Boy, what a hunk of car. Oh, you little money maker, you. Oh, even the door handles are streamlined. Oh, thanks for my salary. Boy, what a life. Plug.
Wait a minute, mister.
All right, officer, I'll go quietly. Gee, I hope I get my own cell back.
Hey, that's quite a car you got here.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, no wonder everybody's calling this new Chrysler the car with $100 million look.
Yeah, plus sales tax.
Oh, boy, hey, how about those wrap-around windshield really wraps around, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can bet your night stick on that.
Would I love to own a car like this?
Yeah, so would I.
Huh?
I mean, I'd like to have you own one, too.
Well, I guess I better be... Oh, hey, mister, you can't park here. You got to get your car out of here. There's a no parking zone.
Yeah, all right, officer. You dirty...
Hey, Jim, some car, huh, buddy? Wow, look at this car. Yeah,
park your car, sir?
Park my car? Oh, yes, my car. Well, no, thanks. I'm leaving right away, and it won't be necessary.
Well, I'd love to park that car just to try that full-time power steering.
Yeah.
How long have you had the car?
How long we been talking? I mean, it was just delivered a few minutes ago.
1 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, well, I like to start the day off right, you know what I mean? What are you gonna do?
Hey, Mike, I think that's Steve's date over there.
Oh, yeah? Hey, she's a beautiful doll. Hey, you want to know something? If the birds and bees ever run out of conversation, they can always talk about her. You know what we ought to do?
You know, I dreamt about her last night.
Oh?
Yeah. How can you dream about her? You never saw her before. I just dream about them. I don't explain them.
Listen, you know what we ought to do? We ought to go over there and give him a build-up. You know, give him a lift. What do you say?
I'm with you.
Come on.
And, where would you like to eat?
Any place, Steve. I'm not very hungry.
Good evening, Stuyvesant. We missed you at the polo matches today, and I personally drop-kicked 2 chuckers. Yes, Stuyvesant. You see, you have the new Chrysler you were talking about.
Oh, is that your car?
Yeah.
Well, how about going for a ride?
Yeah, well, it's such a lovely night for a walk.
Hey, mister. I thought I told you to move your car.
I don't like that.
Is that his car? I thought it was your car.
I loaned it to him.
Park your car, sir?
His car? I thought it was your car that you lent to him.
Well, that's right. You got a nerve lending him a car that I lent to loan him to
Yeah, I certainly have. Especially since it's my car. So long, sport.
So long, sport. Women! Sometimes I wish there weren't any women in the world. Just children and men.
Yeah. It's a great trick, but you can't do it. So look, let's take a vow. A vow and a bow. No more dames.
No more.
I'd like to add one more word about the 1955 Chrysler, the new car with none of last year in its design, one of the 5 completely restyled cars of Chrysler Corporation. I see an old friend of mine coming down here. Man, I haven't seen in a long time.
Hello, Bill. I've been
Recognize you
looking
from
all over.
someplace.
Why, sure. Gee, it's so hot here. Just pardon me a moment, will you?
Yes.
Say, you know, I've been looking for you. You told me that you wanted to hear the story of Cinderella.
Yeah.
Well, sit down, sit down. Let's sit down and tell it. You know, Cinderella, what are you doing?
I'm sorry.
For heaven's sake.
You're a younger man than I am.
Well, I've been looking all over for you anyhow. Now, Cinderella, now she was a wonderful girl.
Uh-huh.
You see, she lived in a marble.
Yeah.
And-
Oh, wait a minute. A marble?
Yes, that's the drive-in hovel, you know.
Pretty stupid to me.
Anyhow, she lived there with her 2 wicked stepsisters, you know. Poor Cinderella. Her sisters treated her just like a slave. She cooked, she washed the dishes, she scrubbed the floors, she dusted the furniture, she cooked the meals, she made the bed, she washed the window.
And besides all that, I have to do all the housework.
Poor Cinderella. Nobody would take her to the ball, so she did the next best thing. She stayed home. But suddenly there came a knock at the door. Knock, knock. And there stood, you'll never believe this,
I don't believe it.
I told you. May I come in? I am your fairy godfather.
This is a fairy godfather. Where's Godmother?
Oh, don't worry about Godmother. She's at home watching television. She's looking at the Chrysler show, you know. But Cinderella, I know that you're crazy to go to the ball, but you must have clothes. So I'll order something long distance for you right away. Excuse me just a minute. I'll just call up Bullock's. Hello, Bullock. Will you please send the finest, the most gorgeous gown for Cinderella, for the ball? Come in.
You're Cinderella, Pascal. Bullock.
All right, will you just take it over there? Assistant, couturier this girl, would you please? Now, to continue the story of Cinderella. You know, Cinderella had 2 stepsisters who were exceptionally fastidious. That is, one was fast and the other was hideous. Are you ready yet? Well, anyhow,
this joke may sound very old to you, ladies and gentlemen, but you've got to remember that this is a Cinderella story and it's 1870. Come to think of it, this joke was old in 1870. Because I told it myself in 1866. Are you ready yet, Cinderella? She isn't ready. You know, I'd like to tell you about Cinderella's gown. Now, I'm just trying to bring it up to date. This fella, Christian Dior, says the girl skates are going to be long. I say the girl skates should be short. Because with short skates, you can see immediately whether or not the girl is bow-legged or knock-kneed. This, to me, is very, very important for me to know. I got to find out immediately. Because at my age, I haven't time to guess. You know? Are you ready yet? Well, then come in. For heaven's sakes, I can't tell. Cinderella! You look magnificent. You are gorgeous. Snail, you know. You look lovely. You look lovely. Now go to the ball and enjoy yourself. And please remember me to the prince.
Oh, but however am I going to get to the ball, Godfather?
I nearly threw the whole bit. Haven't you heard?
Doesn't everybody?
I don't know. For heaven's sake, where's the magic wand? The magic wand. Where is it? Oh, for heaven's sake. Now watch. Watch what happens.
Everyone, and the whole world in particular, announcing the new Imperial, the grandest thing vehicular. Behold the wondrous symmetry in every flowing line, enclosing an interior just breathless in design. 19 feet of sweeping grace in its long, low silhouette with the brand new gun sight taillights. For more distinction yet, the driving thrill of a lifetime is yours to rejoice in now. Hail, master of the highways, and in conclusion, wow!
Cinderella!
Oh, it's beautiful, Godfather.
Oh, I knew you'd love it. Now go to the ball and have a great time. But be sure that you return by 12 o'clock midnight, or you'll louse up the whole story. I have an idea. Instead of you going to the ball, I'll bring the ball to you.
Cinderella, how do you like your new Imperial?
Oh, I love it.
Do you really?
Indeed I do.
Do I need you? Oh my, do I? Honey, honey, did I do? I'm glad that I'm the one who found you. That's why I'm always hanging round you. Do I love you? Oh my, do I? Yes, indeed, indeed I do.
Gold? Oh, Bill, I know that isn't the way the story goes, but when an Imperial comes into your life, it's another story. That's really a sneaky way to get into a commercial.
Yes, it is another story, Ed. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the night everybody's been waiting for. There's a lot of excitement here, for everybody is down to see the cars of the stars, so let's get to the theater and see them all. Art Gilmore, take it away.
Thank you, Bill Lundigan. Well, tonight is the night all America has been waiting for, and of course all the fans are out here in front of the theater to see their favorite stars as they leave the shower of stars. And now, first, here comes Mr. Eddie Mayhoff's Plymouth Belvedere sedan, by far the biggest car in its field. Mr. Mayhoff and Miss Rochelle Hudson is with Mr. Mayhoff as they get into their beautiful new Plymouth Belvedere sedan. Oh, there's a lot of happy faces here tonight as the fans wave to their favorite stars. There they go, and here is Mr. Gil Stratton Jr.'s Plymouth Belvedere convertible coming up. The car designed for the young and heart. There you are, Mr. Stratton. That's my boy. This is indeed a Gil event. There they go. The police are doing their best to keep back the crowds as the fans look for the stars that they like so well. And now here's Danny Thomas's new custom Dodge Royal Lancer hardtop. The first three-tone car for 55. Incidentally, Danny Thomas, Gene Hagen, Sherry Jackson, Rusty Hammer are appearing in the award-winning show Make Room for Daddy each week on another network. There they go. 193 horsepower. And now Miss Gene Hagen's personal Dodge Custom Royal sedan, flare-fashioned and alive with beauty. Everyone is in a gay mood. Here they are. There's Miss Gene Hagen getting into her beautiful new Dodge. Mr. Groucho Marx is now ready to get into his DeSoto Fireflight Sportsman hardtop. And here it comes, a true and typical example of the forward look. Isn't that a beauty? There you go, Groucho. You bet your life. Mr. Edwin's Fireflight DeSoto four-door sedan is now pulling up. Oh, my, there is the car styled for tomorrow. And here is our guest star, Mr. Edwin, and how the fans love him. There you are, Ed, into a beautiful Fireflight DeSoto four-door sedan. Oh, you have to unlock it to get it in. Ah, there he goes. He knows all the tricks. Goodbye, Ed. Michael O'Shea and Jimmy Dunn's Chrysler Windsor V8 four-door deluxe sedan. The car with a long, low silhouette of tailored steel to give the appearance of motion even when it's parked at the curb. Now, Mike, there goes Michael O'Shea and Jimmy Dunn. It's a great ride, boys. You first, Alphonse. And now, here with the $100 million look, the Chrysler New Yorker Deluxe Convertible with its 250 horsepower engine. Oh, what a beauty. And I see Mr. Bill Bishop got his date. Miss Laurie Mitchell is with Mr. Bill Bishop. There they go, a happy couple, and indeed they should be. The fans are loving it, folks. They're out here in front of the theater, and this is indeed a big night. And now, the finest car America has yet produced, the 1955 Newport Imperial by Chrysler. And here are our stars, Mr. and Mrs. Harry James. Into the beautiful Imperial. There they go. Goodbye. Well, folks, that wraps it up from here in front of the theater. There's been lots of excitement, but let's now get back to Bill Lundigan.
Well, that's Shower of Stars for tonight. And now until next Thursday and Climax, this is William Lundigan saying thank you and good night.
Shower of Stars has been a CBS television network production. Portions were pre-recorded for this show. Chrysler Corporation, maker of these 5 great cars: Plymouth, Dodge, DeSoto, Chrysler, and Imperial. Chrysler Corporation. The Forward Look.
DeSoto and the DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life. And here he is, the one, the only...
What a bounder. Oh, that's me. Well, here I am again with $3,000 for one of our couples. If any of them say the secret word, the duck will fly down and pay him $100. The word tonight is chair on the land duck.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is National Safety Month. Can you see, steer, stop safely? If not, check your car. Check accidents. With the busy driving season here, now is the time to check your car. Be safe by driving a safe car.
That makes a lot of sense, George. Last year, over 1 million people were killed and injured in needless automobile accidents. It's a dreadful waste of life.
Yes, and the tragic thing is, Groucho, that a great many of those accidents would have been avoided if the car owners had taken just a little time to have their cars checked. And to make sure your car gets a complete safety checkup, there's no better place to go than a DeSoto Plymouth dealer. His factory-trained mechanics will go over every part of your car that can affect your safety to make sure they are all in perfect working order. Wheels, brakes, headlights, tires, steering, windshield wipers, glass, horn, muffler, taillights. Everything you need for safe driving.
You know, it takes only a small amount of time and money to keep you and your family safe on the highways. Isn't it worth it?
Remember, to be a safe driver, you must be able to see, steer, stop safely. Check your car. Check accidents. Stop in where you see the sign of better service, the friendly sign of your DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Oh, the big news this year's DeSoto with Power Flight Shift.
Just the turn of a key and you're ready to go. No clutch and no shifting, automatic, you know.
Automatic DeSoto has more power.
And beauty that shines like a star.
For the thrill of a ride that will fill you with pride, drive DeSoto automatic.
Yes, drive a new DeSoto automatic equipped with Power Flight, America's finest fully automatic transmission. You'll find driving is easier and far less tiring because DeSoto's fully automatic Power Flight transmission was designed to carry out your sudden orders quickly, smoothly, quietly. So for a new driving thrill, drive a new DeSoto automatic with Power Flight. And if it's power you're looking for, get behind the wheel of a DeSoto Fire Dome. The mighty Fire Dome 170 horsepower V8 engine gives you all the power you can possibly use at the touch of a toe. Ready to perform the instant you call on it. Visit your DeSoto Plymouth dealer tomorrow and treat yourself to the beauty and luxury of a new DeSoto automatic. Available in 2 great series, the mighty 170 horsepower Fire Dome 8 and the superb Power Master 6. Remember, DeSoto puts you ahead automatically. And now, here are some more scenes from Groucho's European trip this summer.
Here I am in La Belle France, and this is one vehicle it wouldn't be safe to hold a candle to. Speaking of holding candles, the great new DeSoto for 1955 is coming your way, so don't you miss it.
That's the brand new DeSoto, on display Wednesday, November 17th. Your very first chance to see this stylish new DeSoto. Wednesday, November 17th.
Here I am in London, and of course they don't speak English very well over here. And this spelling is rather curious. But this is just a reminder to be around when we show you the brand new DeSoto for 1955. For the very first time on this show. Yes, really we are.
In any language, that date is Wednesday, November 17th. Don't miss it. Your first chance to see the stunning new...
Before we go ahead, I want to show you another scene from our European trip. This is an old Roman tradition that was started by the boys who clean these fountains. But don't you throw your money away. Don't even look at another car until you see the great new DeSoto for 1955. Coming your way soon.
Soon is right, Groucho. Wednesday, November 17th is your first chance to see the stunning new DeSoto for 1955. Wednesday, November 17th.
Well, let's take a minute to get away from it all and back to Italy. You may think these boys are all statues, but you're wrong. They're just waiting until they can get their first look at the stylish new DeSoto. Why don't you pull up a pedestal and join us until you can get your first chance to see the stylish DeSoto for 1955. Tell them when, George.
Wednesday, November 17th. That's your very first chance to see the 1955 DeSoto. Don't miss it. Wednesday, November 17th.
I just gave that battleship 10 minutes to get out of town. Incidentally, this is about the only road you won't be able to travel in the brand new wonderful DeSoto for 1955.
It's coming your way Wednesday, November 17th. The stylish 1955 DeSoto. So watch for it Wednesday, November 17th.
Groucho sent me to see the new DeSoto.
Groucho sent me, and I love to drive this car. It's long and low and roomier, so handsome you can see.
It's powerful, and I'm so glad that Groucho sent me. Listen to him when you hear Groucho say,
Go drive the new DeSoto at DeSoto Plymouth dealers today.
Now that is a beautiful car, the new DeSoto. They call it the smartest of the smart cars, and it really is. This is the new forward look, eager, graceful, and distinctive. The contrasting color suite flows along the side dramatically, and every part of the car is beautifully styled, from grille to taillight. I think the new DeSoto is the best-looking car on the road.
What's more, the new DeSoto is the best buy on the road. Even with all that beauty and blazing performance, the new DeSoto costs much less than you think. This year, DeSoto sales are almost twice as great as last year's. Your DeSoto dealer is trading in volume. That means right now he can afford to give you a really good deal on a new DeSoto. Drive a DeSoto before you decide. Price a DeSoto before you decide.
For the pick of the used cars, the tops in value, DeSoto's the place you should buy. The dealer's your neighbor and very good friend. More value you'll get there, less money you'll spend. DeSoto's proud dealers are there to serve you top value in every used car. If used cars you trade, you'll get more and you'll save at DeSoto Plymouth Dealers.
Your DeSoto Plymouth dealer specializes in top value used cars. Let's look at a typical value. Here is a 1953 DeSoto, just as you saw it new on this show 2 years ago. It has engineering advances not yet found in some makes of new cars, like full-time power steering, the safe, easy power steering that works for you all the time, and famous DeSoto power brakes. See how little pressure it takes to bring the DeSoto to a quick, safe stop. And the value that was built into this 1953 DeSoto is still there. It's a top value buy, and you have your choice of many other makes and models of used cars. Just look for the top value sticker, only at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Well, Groucho, here come the two couples tied for the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $2,000 question. Each of the couples will write down an answer on the card, and of course, if they all get it right, they will divide the money between them.
Okay, all right, here we go. For $2,000, I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully, and please no help from the audience. For $2,000, what is the name given to the promontories on either side of the Straits of Gibraltar? One is in Spain and the other in Africa. It's a name that's been used for centuries. Let me see your card. Mrs. Sanders and Mrs. Mells, Malta? No, that's wrong. Dr. Bordeaux and his wife, Pillars of Hercules, right. So you two win $2,000. Plus, how much in the quiz, George?
Well, you won $225 in the quiz.
That's $2,225. What are you going to do with all that money? Open a wine farm?
You won't believe us, but we're going to buy a DeSoto.
Are you? Why shouldn't I believe you? It's the best car on the market. Congratulations from the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. You bet your life. Friends, go in to see your DeSoto Plymouth dealer tomorrow. And when you do, tell him Groucho sent you.
Be sure to tune in next week, same time, same station, for another in our summer series of the best of Groucho. Listen on radio every Wednesday night. And don't miss the big Chrysler Corporation TV show each week on another network. George Fenneman signing off with a reminder from the National Safety Council. When you stop, park to stay parked. Set the parking brake and remove the key.